Hey, people from the RV scene with Janet Dean. Today's a beautiful day. A great day to get on the roof. That's right. It's your tip of the day with the RV scene from Janet Dean. I've got caulk. Now, I went and bought a new travel trailer initially. There's a little bit of the caulk here. This is about 15 bucks. We bought a new travel trailer 3 years ago, and boy, they tried to sell me everything under the sun. I mean, everything. And after they get all done with it, they tell you that extended warranty won't cover your roof. And if the roof's a problem, it's because you didn't caulk it, um, and it delaminates the materials. Okay, that's fine. So I got to climb up on the roof anyway and maintain my vehicle. I'm certainly not going to spend money for an extra warranty. So I'm going to give you a look at exactly what's involved and what they make such a big deal about. It's really not a big deal, but it is really important that you do it. So I'm rooftop on my Grand Design. Janet and I love this rig. Our Grand Design, I should say, is a 367 BHS for those of you who are model specific warriors. And I have just placed caulk on the corner. And it's funny, but I've noticed that anytime somebody has a leak, it's always in a corner. Well, that makes a lot of sense. These roofs pitch to the corner. They pond when you're in a low area or a high area in the corners. And the gutters are right there in the corners. So it would make a lot of sense that you might find a problem in the corners. Under this spot was no void, but there was definitely impressions and a little cracking in the caulk last year at the end of the first season with this rig. So we're ending our second season, and again, I come up and I look at these corners and I say, well, that's the only area that I'm concerned about. The slide outs look great. They use a heavy sealant tape on them, and I don't see any places where I'm concerned. They don't spend a lot of time out because we don't camp full time, so they're not out in the weather getting exposed. But these corners would be my area of concern. And the reason I say they'd be my area of concern is because there are a lot of complaints on the forums with a wrinkled roof on the Grand Design. And the roof's pulling away from the nose cone, which I'm going to turn around and show you mine. It looks pretty darn good. I have no reason to add more caulking to a good seal along the nose cone. Now, if you guys are looking at this in your experience and you've got one for 8 years and you say, Dean, you're mistaken, well, go ahead and weigh in. But so far, I don't want to throw extra caulking where I don't need it for lots of reasons. One, it's ugly. And two, then people may evaluate your rig if you go to sell it and think, well, this guy's had a leak. No, he hasn't. So I'm not going to overdo it. I do see something up here that does. This is new. Look at that, guys. I got a tear. And that's the first time I've seen that. So we're going to tackle that tear because that is exactly the thing that will cause you grief. Now, if you go to Walmart, you can buy a little Bondo filler putty knife. You get 3 of these for like $2. It's worth its weight in gold. But there is something new. I never had one before, and we all know when you ride down a campground, there are branches above your head, and you have no idea which one or what angle will do that. This is only about as big as my thumbnail, and I'm not going to lose my head over it. I'm going to patch it. Thankfully, we have had no water intrusion. Again, this rig doesn't spend a lot of time. I shouldn't say that. We've got about 50 nights under our belt this year, maybe about 11 trips, and we did the same thing last year with a lot less nights, so somewhere around 40 or so. Anyway, let me put some goo in here and show you what I'm going to do with this. So under the roof I found this little speck of wood from the branch. Got that out of there. This is completely flat. Now if you're like me, you want this to adhere, so I'm going to push the caulking in the hole, put it underneath, and then lay the spackle over top, or the caulking over top, give it a few minutes, and then I'm going to lay a nice puddle and smooth it out to look something like that. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, so I pushed it under there pretty good. It's almost bulging, which is what I wanted. Now I'll take my blade and go across it real good, like this. And it laid right back in its natural position, right there. And there's no way I want to hide this from a buyer, or if I trade it, same idea. No way. It's not my style. Now I want to put a big old puddle right on top of this. Just like that. And all I'm doing, I've not met with anybody or talked to the other RV guys. I'm replicating what I see. Anywhere where there could be a void, they put a nice big high point, and then they spread it out like this. It stands to reason that if you have an edge that water can find its way under, water will find its way under. If you do this, it's hard to deny that water is going to go anywhere but away from this spot. It now is a high spot on the roof. Again, if there's something I've done here that you think can be improved upon, be kind, but feel free to weigh in. That's going to harden in the sun. It's a perfectly sunny day. And by the way, choose a sunny day to do this. But have a look there. I mean, that is just definitely what I'm hoping for. I did not want to find that on my roof today. But I'd rather find it today, the rainy days when it's coming in through the wall and breaking up my RV. Okay, so we found a hole in the middle of the roof, a small one, about the size of a dime core. And now this is the edges, and I want to take you real close in. You see right here, that's what you're looking for. Those unlevel edges to me look like, see where the black says? That's where the dirt can combine. That's where the water's going to pond. And I'm not having a problem, but I don't want to get one. Right in this ledge here, I also felt a little exposure. See that? See that right there? That's a place where water can make its way. Water's evil. So I'm running across the back edge. I got another spot here I'll probably put a little goop on. And definitely where your feet come up on the ladder, there's a little there. And then this edge here, big time. This is my nemesis. I don't want that to be where the water ponds and then comes through the back wall. Because once it comes in, it spreads its way. That a little entry like that can cause a 3-foot wide delamination on the back panels of your rig. So you want to watch for that stuff. That's what people ignore. They're lazy. They don't take at least this. I've only been up here about 20 minutes, maybe, and I'm just gonna go back to where I was for a second. Now I'm only about 5 foot up off the ground here, but look, that's going to be a solid patch. That hardens thick as a rock. This stuff here is awesome. Can't wait to see that harden up. Come by it a year from now and see it solid as the rubber that's underneath of it. Anyway, I hope this helps you guys. I'm going to finish up this little tour here and patch up and call it a day. Okay, remember there's no leak anywhere on this back corner, but I'm just taking care of it. Now, you may say, well, that ain't very pretty. And I say, you know, pretty on the outside is not as important as pretty on the inside. Kind of like a good woman. Yes, you want it to look pretty on the outside, but man, it's so important to be pretty on the inside. So there you have it. The RV scene with Janet and Dean. Time to get up on your roof and get ready for winter. Get this baby ready. One last tip. Store this stuff inside and you just might do what we're doing. We're getting a whole nother year out of it. By next year, I'll bet that'll still be moist. Take good, thick packing tape. Wrap it halfway up, fold it over, wrap it again, and tighten it and leave it end exposed and fold it over so you can pull it off easy. That stuff is 15 bucks. One thing I need to tell you guys is we love to RV, but it's our hobby. We're not full-timers. We actually help you find your permanent home. So Janet and I are also the Palumbi team, Janet and Dean, and we are with Realty Executives. Now, what we do is help buyers and sellers find their forever home. And if you're like us, you probably have some desires as to maybe bringing your RV to your home or something special like that. Let's talk about what you want if you need to move here permanently. We work the Knoxville, Tennessee market, and if you're from out of state and you need help getting a good quality realtor to sell your home, man, that is something we do all the time. So give us a call. Let's talk about real estate if we can help you. I'm Dean. My wife is Janet. We are the Palumbi team. And we always say, when you buy or sell, make it a Palumbi.